Forgive me for being blunt, but are you a virgin?
Swine?
Is The Witcher 1 worth playing today? In this video, I'll give you the lowdown on Witcher 1 and make the case for why you should play this game. This review will be relatively spoiler-free, aside for some basic story setup. Keep watching to see it all. What's up, everyone? Big Dan here. I make videos about RPGs like Mass Effect, Witcher, and Dragon Age. I explore hidden scenes, rare choices, lore videos, guides, and reviews like this one. So hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. Without further ado, let's dive right in. One of the most interesting things about the Witcher fandom is that most fans of the franchise have only played The Witcher 3. And while Witcher 3 is an all-time classic and clearly superior to the first two games, a lot of players are missing out on a great experience if they skip Witcher 1 and 2. Now, it's important to get your expectations right before playing this game. It was the first game that CD Projekt Red ever made. It was also made in 2007 on a considerably lower budget than The Witcher 3. So if you're coming into this game expecting the same level of production quality, you're going to be disappointed. But if you have an open mind and can stomach a little bit of jank, then you're about to experience a wonderful RPG. So let's talk about what makes Witcher 1 such a great game and why you should give it a chance. For starters, as you'd expect from the Witcher franchise, this game has great writing, a compelling story, and interesting characters. This includes some familiar faces from Witcher 3 like Dandelion, Zoltan, Triss, Taller, and Shani. You also get a few brief appearances from other Witchers like Vesemir, Lambert, and Eskel.
Lambert? He doesn't hate Triss?
Feels guilty, I think. The first thing Triss'll hear when she wakes is, "Finally awake, Marigold." That's Lambert.
I think what really pulls me in is the charming and goofy tone of Witcher 1. While the main story does have a serious bent, the game doesn't take itself too seriously most of the time, and some of the interactions Geralt has with other characters are downright hilarious.
Can you make a lightning rod?
Are you trying to offend me, or can't you control what you say?
How's your poem?
Your hands fine and slender, your hips big and tender, all night and all day, spin my head a painful way.
Enough. Speak no more. I defeated Fat Fred, so I'm looking for another opponent.
You take issue with fat folk?
Yes. Why?
You just pissed off Butterbean.
I'm going to play the intro scene to Chapter 2, which brilliantly captures the goofy atmosphere of this game.
Hey, let me out of here, I'm innocent. Those 5 pounds of fist tech were for personal use. Hey you, jailer, at least move me. I don't want to be with the politicals. Politics makes you rot. I'm a decent thief, let me out.
Shut your trap! I'm busy!
Jethro, keep it down, you're looking to kill me?
That thief's bugging me. Thief, right. And I'm here with the politicals. Scandalous.
I said shut up!
Stop screaming or on my mother's life I'll bloody smash your junky mouth.
Abso-fucking-lutely beautiful.
But aside from silly character interactions, this game also has a lot of different choices and consequences that the player can experience. Some choices you make will have repercussions much later in the game, so decisions can come back to help or haunt you in surprising ways. This greatly enhances the replay value of Witcher 1 for players who like to see all the different outcomes of your choices. I've done 3 full playthroughs so far, and I'm still discovering new things that I missed in the past. When a decision Geralt makes comes back much later in the game, it will often play a brief cinematic where our protagonist reflects on the choice he made. I'm about to show you one of these scenes, which has a minor Chapter 2 spoiler, so if you're concerned about that, then skip to this timestamp.
Fragmenting tip. Enters the stomach as 1, exits the back as 3, mincing the internal organs. Hawker's specialty. Useless against armored soldiers, the tips burst on the surface of even the lightest armor. They're used to kill civilians, for show, as a cruel warning. I know where the weapons that killed Coleman came from. I need to avoid those situations, remain neutral, not get involved.
Witcher 1 also doesn't hold your hand, which is refreshing compared to the excessive tutorials and waypoints I've experienced recently in modern Ubisoft games, for instance. There are no waypoints on the screen, but the maps and quest journal are detailed enough that you can figure out exactly where you need to go next. Some quests also let you work out the solution for yourself and take multiple different approaches to get the same goal. I find this level of player freedom and trust in the player to figure things out on their own to be highly engaging. Overall, The Witcher 1 is just a fun game to explore and quest in. Unfortunately, not everything about this game is cherries and rose petals though. There is a fair amount of jank and frustration to be had in this experience, so let's get into the uglier side of Witcher 1. For starters, the combat is incredibly janky and outdated. It's probably the main reason why many players quit this game or never pick it up in the first place. This is not an action combat system like The Witcher 3. It's kind of like Dragon Age Origins or Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, in that you select a target for Geralt to attack, and then he carries out that action on his own. So there's a delay between selecting your target and attacking. Chance to hit, parries, dodges, etc. are all carried out by stat checks in the background. So the combat animations you see on the screen are all just there for flavor. Geralt has 3 different Witcher combat styles: fast, strong, and group. Fast attacks are effective against small, nimble enemies, strong attacks work against larger goons, and group attacks are useful against, you guessed it, groups. And just like Witcher 3, you have 2 swords, steel for human enemies and silver for monsters. Aside from stances, the name of the game is chaining attacks together. When Geralt is about to finish a combo, an orange indicator will flash on the screen. If you click when that indicator is active, then Geralt will chain together an additional combo. So combat basically becomes a rhythm game of clicking at the right time and switching between different stances until all of your enemies are dead. It takes a while to get used to it, but I started to enjoy it once I learned how everything works. The combat can also be really unbalanced in certain sections of the game. A few quests and boss fights are incredibly more difficult than you would expect from a combat standpoint. There were a handful of times I had to resort to online guides or cheese tactics just to survive a battle and keep the story moving forward. Strangely enough, you also cannot adjust the difficulty level once you start the game. There are 3 different levels: easy, normal, and hard. But once you pick a difficulty at the beginning of the game, you cannot change it. I don't know why CD Projekt Red designed it this way, but it's something to keep in mind when you start your own playthrough. Another frustrating aspect of The Witcher 1 is how the day-night cycle factors into gameplay. In order to level up your character, craft potions, or change the time of day, you have to meditate at a campfire, inn, or friendly NPC's household. In and of itself, I have no issue with this. The problem starts with how this system collides with quest progression. Many quests can only be completed or moved forward by speaking to NPCs at a specific time of day. For instance, Vincent Meese can only be found during the daytime, and Shawnee will usually not speak to you unless she is at home in the evening. This means you'll need to frequently change the time of day just to finish off a quest or inch forward an objective. And since you can't move time forward anywhere, you'll waste a lot of time running to taverns and campfires just to switch the clock to noon or evening or midnight. This problem persists throughout the entire game and really starts to grate on me over the course of a 30 to 40 hour playthrough. There's probably a mod that fixes this, but if you're playing the vanilla version, expect to waste a lot of time running around the map. Witcher 1 also doesn't have any fast travel, but this is a relatively minor issue given that the maps aren't very big. You'll also gain access to teleportation portals in a few areas in the middle of the game, which unlocks a handful of shortcuts. Most of my frustration about traversal just had to do with running around to change the time of day. While these aspects of the game can be annoying, overall I still really enjoy The Witcher 1. The quality of the storytelling, ample player choices, and great characters far outweigh the jankiness of the combat and frustrating aspects of the gameplay systems. If you're a fan of RPGs or the Witcher franchise, then I highly recommend playing The Witcher 1. So there you have it. The Witcher 1 is still worth playing in 2022. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Big Dan Gaming for more RPG videos and reviews. Also, shout out to all the channel members for supporting my content. Until next time, this has been Big Dan. I should go.